In the stillness before dawn, a drop of dew slides from a leaf, touching the earth with a gentle shimmer. Every action we take is like that drop, seemingly small, yet rippling through the lives of others, and through the fabric of our own future. The Buddha said, "Karma is intention." Our destiny is not shaped by what happens to us, but by the heart behind what we do. When a seed is planted with kindness, it will bloom into peace. Right action, sammā-kammanta, means the purification of bodily conduct. The Buddha taught us to refrain from 3 wrong actions: not taking life, not taking what is not given, and not causing harm through desire. These are not commandments, but wisdom that guards the peace of the heart. To abstain from killing is not just to avoid harm, it is to care. When we show compassion to animals, kindness to others, and respect to nature, the world becomes less painful. Right action is not merely avoiding wrong. It is awareness in every gesture, every movement, every job, every relationship done with mindfulness. For every moment is a moment of creating karma. When right view lets us see truth, and right thought guides our direction, then right action is the step that makes wisdom real. When the heart is pure, every deed becomes an extension of awakening. Long ago, by the Ganges River, there lived a gentle rabbit. It was no ordinary rabbit. It was the Bodhisattva, the Buddha to be, born as an animal to teach the world compassion. The rabbit's friends, a monkey, an otter, and a fox, lived kindly too. The Bodhisattva often said, "Giving isn't just about food or wealth. True giving is kindness from the heart." One night under the moon, the rabbit made a vow. "If ever a being suffers, I shall give myself for their sake." Its heart was pure, like the shining moon. The next day, a weary old man entered the forest, a god in disguise. The monkey offered fruit, the otter fish, the fox food, but the rabbit had nothing to give. The rabbit said softly, "I have only one thing, my own body. Please light a fire, and I shall offer myself." The god wept, yet did as the rabbit asked. As the rabbit leapt into the fire, the flames turned cool and gentle, like moonlight. The god revealed his true form and bowed, saying, "Only true compassion can turn fire into peace." From that day, the god placed the rabbit's image on the moon, a symbol that pure action means never harming life. True virtue is born from a heart that cannot hurt. Long ago in the kingdom of Varanasi, there lived a young and brilliant ruler named King Kandara, yet he was captivated by pleasure and beauty. Among his courtesans was a dancer named Kāma, graceful as the wind, charming as a flower. The king's desire clouded his once clear heart. One morning, a monk came to the palace for alms. His eyes were calm, his steps serene. He was no ordinary monk. He was the Bodhisattva, the Buddha to be, appearing as a wise ascetic to awaken the king, lost in desire. The Bodhisattva said softly, "Great king, do you think her smile belongs to you? It blooms only for your power and gold. When wealth fades, her heart will drift away. Desire," the Bodhisattva continued, "is like honey hiding a blade. For a moment's sweetness, one may suffer endless pain." King Kandara fell silent, then bowed deeply to the sage. He saw how he had become a slave to desire, losing both his dignity and purity. From that day, the king renounced unwholesome pleasure. He ruled with mindfulness and compassion, giving Kāma her freedom and wealth, and building a Dharma hall in the palace for monks to teach. When the Buddha later told this story to his monks, he said, "The king of that tale is now King Pasenadi of Kosala. The dancer is his queen Malika, and the wise ascetic was I myself." The Buddha said, "When one acts from desire, suffering will follow. When one acts from purity, peace will arise. Right action lies not in the act's size, but in the purity of intention." Right action, sammā-kammanta, means that our bodily deeds must be grounded in wisdom and compassion. To refrain from killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. This is the first step from desire toward awakening. The cyclical parallel in this story reminds us, every awakening begins with a single shift of mind, from "I want" to "I am willing to let go." In northern Thailand, a young man named Arun was once full of potential, but at 17 he fell into drug addiction. His family couldn't help him. His friends left, and he lost job after job. His life sank into darkness. One day, desperate for drugs, he stole a motorcycle. He was caught and sent to prison for 3 years. At that time he hated everyone, even himself. From the beginning, Arun was angry and restless. He thought, "This isn't my fault, I was just unlucky." Until one day, an old monk came to the prison to give a Dhamma talk. The monk didn't speak of sin or punishment. He softly said, "Every pain can be your teacher. If you learn from it, you become truly free." Arun was shaken but pretended not to care. That night he couldn't sleep. He dreamed of his mother waiting at the door, tears on her face. He realized he had been destroying not just his life, but her heart too. The next day, he joined the prison meditation program. At first it was hard. His mind kept running wild. But with each breath, he began to see his anger, his fear, his mistakes. That was the moment he said to himself, "I want to start again." After his release, he ordained as a monk. Each day he chanted, cleaned, and meditated. 2 years later, he went home and sincerely asked for forgiveness. Today, he helps other young people recover from addiction. This story mirrors the Buddha's past life as the king in the Kāma Jātaka. Sensual pleasure without wisdom leads only to suffering. But when the mind returns to pure action, destiny changes. In December 2021, Selangor was struck by one of the worst floods in a century. In Klang, Shah Alam, and Gombak, thousands lost their homes overnight. Amid the chaos, a group of young volunteers, Malays, Chinese, and Indians, formed Team Kahaya, paddling through floodwaters to deliver food and water to stranded families. They did not wait for government orders or carry any religious banners, only hearts moved by compassion. Every day they waded through muddy waters for hours, carrying infants, pushing wheelchairs, saving lives. A young man named Azan said, "I never cared much about others before, but when I saw a child crying on a rooftop and jumped to save him, I realized helping others is the reason I'm alive." The Buddha said, to abstain from killing, stealing, and misconduct. But these are not mere rules. They point to awakened action. When compassion becomes the root of your choices, your actions no longer create suffering. They bring light. Right action is not about grand gestures. It's about the simple, daily choice to do good, to refrain from harm, and to care for others. Long ago, the Bodhisattva took the form of a little hare, willing to give his own life so that others might live. In that moment, compassion became action. 2,000 years later, a young man named Azan in flooded Selangor leapt into the waters to save a stranger's child. Different times, same heart. Right action, sammā-kammanta, as taught by the Buddha, is not a lofty ideal, but every moment we choose not to harm, every hand we reach out, every act born of kindness. When we turn from harming to protecting, from indifference to compassion, we are walking the very path of the Buddha.